So immediately we can tell he has very short clavicles, but that's fine. We can work with that. You can see the traps start to poke out a little bit, but there's not much there. And he absolutely has some boulder shoulders. You can tell the difference between the heads, but the rear delt is definitely lacking. I'm going to work with him on that. Biceps are definitely a strength here. You can tell that while the triceps isn't heavily emphasized in this pose, there's a ton of mass over here. And his forearms look great at this angle. You can see the brachioradialis over here. Again, phenomenal shoulders, absolutely crazy peak. His arms are definitely a strong point besides the rear delt, and we can't see much from this angle, but we can tell that he definitely needs to work on his legs because they don't really fill out his shorts. And just from looking, we can tell he has an insane amount of chest mass, whether or not this is a good pose for them. I don't know if this is a lighting or not, but he definitely does have a bit of a V-line over there. I could be wrong. All right, now we have one of his back. Immediately, we can tell that his traps are insane. They're very symmetrical, but he is very top heavy. You can tell that he has some body fat, but not a lot because the veins are starting to come through over here, which is great. We are going to have to emphasize the bottom traps a little bit as we continue working because you can kind of tell the size cutoff over here. Triceps look phenomenal. Again, not much rear delt to go off of. In this pose, the forearms look like, I don't know how to explain it. The forearms, you can tell the body fat percentage a bit more in this pose. That's perfectly fine. He's still on a cut. And his teres, absolutely incredible in this pose. Infraspinatus right there, well defined. And his lats are definitely a weak point as well because you can tell that he has some slabs down here, but they're not really poking out for a good V-taper just yet. It's mostly the teres that are helping him at this point. Another back pose. Yeah, immediately you can tell he has... His traps are absolutely insane, but he is extremely top heavy. Not a lot in the lower traps at all, but we can work with him on that. Again, rear delts are lacking, but overall he definitely has boulder shoulders. You can tell the lateral head over here is definitely his stronger point. Yeah, and from this angle, his arms do not look the best, but you can tell he has some mass. And yeah, he definitely has a bit of lower percentage body fat because his teres are doing him insane favors in this pose. And again, his lats are not doing him any favors, but again, time will fix that. Okay, this is definitely his favorite pose. Yeah, just from looking here, we can tell he has an insane amount of mass in his chest. Good for him. That's definitely a strong point. And just from here, we can tell the difference between his heads, posterior, lateral. And again, the rear delt is definitely lacking, even though we can tell he has incredible boulder shoulders. Anyways, triceps are absolutely amazing. Biceps have a great peak over here. And you can tell the muscles and the forearms apart, which is great. You don't get that a lot. And just by looking, we can tell that he has 2, 3, 4 visible abs, and he has some obliques and gills over here, which is crazy. And yeah, he has a bit of a V-line over there, which is awesome. His body fat percentage, that's pretty hard to come by at 15 to 16%.